All right, guys, welcome back. This is video 5 of my series, Satisfied Customers Are the Bare Minimum. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why good jobs don't automatically create referrals. So one of the biggest myths in business is that good work naturally leads to referrals. It doesn't. And so one of the key things I like to try to keep in mind is that satisfaction doesn't motivate action. So just because someone's satisfied with the work you did doesn't mean they're going to take action and actively leaving you a review, giving you a testimonial, referring you to friends. They may just be satisfied with what you did, which again, people talk about customer satisfaction and satisfied customers and clients, but really that shouldn't be your goal. That is the bare minimum of what you do. If someone is going to make an exchange with you, a transaction with you where they're going to trade time, you're going to trade your time or expertise for their money, doing that deliverable is the bare minimum. That's the expectation. That's what they're expecting you to do. There's nothing special about that. You've just delivered what you're supposed to deliver. Good job. How do you take it to the next step? How do you elevate that? Because if that's just what you're doing, you're going to stay stuck there. You're not going to elevate past that if you just do the minimum requirement, which is what a lot of people do nowadays. And so emotion drives referrals. People always, talk about, you don't remember what people said or what they did, but you remember how they made you feel. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. And I've been able to live that and see that through our experience with our business and a lot of our clients as well. And so people don't always recommend the experience, or people normally recommend the experience, not the outcome. I'm sure you've been to restaurants or been to different places where the food was pretty good. It was nothing to go crazy over. It was pretty good food, but the experience was amazing. The server was so great, and they were great with the kids, and they talked to you to make sure you had everything you need. And then the manager came up and they did something for you, and they did something special for your kid because it was his birthday, whatever it is. And the experience makes pretty good or great food turn into an exceptional time because the experience, the whole thing builds together. It's not just this or that. It's all that works together. And so that's what people I think forget is in our businesses, it's not just the delivery, it's not just the marketing, it's not just the branding, it's not just the financials, it's not just the customer journey. It's those are all pieces, but you got to put them together because it all matters and all has to work together. And if you start not letting things work together, things will break down. If you have four wheels in your car and you only put lug nuts on three, you're going to have a problem. It all matters. It all talks. It all works together. And so many times we try to break these things apart, but we have to make sure they're firing on all cylinders. And so that's why it makes such a big difference. And you can't just do a good job and expect a good outcome. You have to do an outstanding job and give an outstanding experience. And that's where momentum really starts to build for you. And so just think about, you know, when someone says they were fine, what's going to happen? No one says you should call them. They were fine. You should call them. They were pretty good. No one says that. So how do you move beyond just being pretty good or fine or doing a good job? And how do you elevate that to the next level of a great experience, a great outcome, the whole thing from when they first interact with your brand online or when they hear about you from another person to when they get in contact with you to the build up to the estimate to going up to the job site. How does that look? Are you alerting them? Are you keeping them in the loop? Hey, we'll be there in a week. Hey, we'll be there in 3 days. Hey, we'll be there in 24 hours. Hey, we're on our way. Here's a picture of what crew's coming. Here's their pictures and their names so you know what to expect. Do you keep the job site maintained well? Are you showing up professionally and branded in your gear, whatever that uniform looks like for you in your industry? Are you using appropriate language? Are you playing music that's appropriate or putting headphones in so no one hears it? Are you conducting yourself in a professional manner, even when you think no one's around, just in case there's a camera around? Just do the right thing all the time. You don't have to worry about it. All these things play into how do you not just do a good job, but you do an outstanding job and create not just satisfied customers, but take it to the next level that really propels you, which is the raving fans. And that's what we're trying to do. And so I can just think back of different experiences. And again, you can't do this for every single person. There's things that we had in our system that we did for everybody. Everyone got walked through that same process of the communication, the follow-ups, the reminders, all that leading through up to the point of after the fact, we always did a handwritten card that was personalized to every customer. We did not automate that. We hand wrote it to them specifically. It wasn't generic. We wrote it to them each and every time, to each customer. And then we sent them a gift that was not branded to us. It was not our company on the gift. It was their name, their last name, their family on there. It was branded to them, which was even more special. And we broke that out into a sequence where we finished the job. They were happy. Most of the time, we'd get a review before we even got back from the job site because we automated it. So when we finished the job, clicked finish in CRM, sent them all their stuff, requested a review. Most of the time, we'd have an outstanding, very nice review before we even got back from the job site and dropped the trailer. But then a week or two later, they get a personalized handwritten card that's very thoughtful, meaningful to them, about their animal or their kid or their whatever it was, because we actually would care and take note on those things. And then they were just blown away because people don't do that anymore. They automate it or they don't do it at all. And then they thought the experience was over. And then another 2 or 3 weeks later, they'd get their personalized gift. Again, not branded to our company, branded to them, to their business or their family, whatever it was. And we would do those type of things. And that was just, we did that for everybody. But then we'd go above and beyond for certain things. We had a couple that moved down from New York. They had just sold their business and were getting something done. Well, they had moved down. They were an Italian couple. My wife Courtney's Italian. They were kind of getting a little homesick, missing some of the stuff. So we made pasta and gravy. We call it the gravy. It's the red sauce for any of you who aren't familiar with it. But we made that kind of stuff for them. We dropped it, like we would show up to a job site and we gave them homemade pasta and gravy, and it just heightened the experience. We didn't have to do those things. We still did everything else we were going to do. But we were able to, in that circumstance, do something that was a very personal connection just to them. We had a couple that we had the opportunity to work on several projects with them and get to know them. And so, of course, every single time we would do those things that we did for everyone, but then we'd always try to put a personal touch on it. We knew that they're on the third project we worked with them on, they were moving closer to their grandkids. They're going to have their grandkids over a lot. So we have a book series by one of my mentors, Andy Frisella. It's called Otis and Charlie. And it's about two bulldogs, and it teaches very practical entrepreneurial and life lessons to kids in a fun way. And our kids love those, the whole book series. So what did we do? We bought some of those books, some of their favorite books, and we gave it to them to be able to have and share that experience with their grandkids. And it's books. It's small. It's not a big. It's not something that's crazy, or it's not some crazy hard thing to do or deliver on. But we could have given them almost anything else, and it wouldn't have been as meaningful and as impactful as it was of giving them books for their grandkids that our kids also liked and have that connection with, or bringing them authentic homemade Italian pasta and gravy because they're homesick, because they moved away, they moved down here, and they haven't been able to find a place they could get anything like that. And so, again, you're not necessarily going to do that for each and every client. You can't. But when you can put that customer journey in place where you can do the main thing, the handwritten, whatever you choose to do, but we did handwritten cards and personalized gifts to every customer, and then find other opportunities to sprinkle in different experiences that go to another level. It doesn't take much effort, but the reward is so much higher. It builds your brand story. It builds the experience. It turns them into raving fans that just they sell jobs for you. And so those things matter so much. And that's really the difference between, yeah, they were fine, and man, I mean, the work they did was outstanding, and you got to come look at this. It speaks for itself. But let me tell you about everything else that happened. Man, it was like no other contract. We've been having so much work around our house, around our business, and these people were just top tier. They communicated, they kept us informed, they worked with us. It felt like they were on top of it. They were organized, they were professional. They did this, this, and this, which was amazing. They didn't have to do that. And all of a sudden, they're becoming advocates and raving fans for your business. And it grows your brand and your business, and it elevates you to a different level. And long term, what it also does is it allows you to start being booked out, not chasing down jobs. And when you have your peak season and your slow seasons, you can build a pipeline through that, through building raving fans and also continuing your normal paid lead gen marketing. you can build a pipeline of people where you can stay busy and you can stay booked out, to where we got to the point where we were always booked out for at least, but normally like 6 to 8 weeks for almost 3 years straight, because we were just constantly doing those little things. And so not only do we have our marketing and our lead gen that we were paying for coming in, but as we converted those people into raving fans, they were selling jobs for us, and we were able to grow a huge referral part of our business by doing these little things that don't take much effort, especially when you put a system in place to be able to deliver on it. And so think about, how many times do you hear someone say, you should call them? They're fine. You can't be fine. You have to be excellent. You have to be outstanding. You have to deliver a top-notch, world-class customer journey and experience that takes it from where you're not just creating a satisfied customer. That's the bare minimum you should do if someone's paying you to do a service or paying you for a product. They should be satisfied with it. That's the bare minimum. That's your standard. You need to raise your standard, and I challenge you to start that today, because you don't want satisfied customers or clients. You want raving fans who advocate for you and your business. So this is video 5, why good jobs don't automatically generate referrals. On the next video, video 6, we're going to be talking about